Hey, buddy. I know that one of the things that you were talking about this week is you had a couple clients that were confused about what the bridge is in action. And I think that since communication is a pretty common issue in couples work, it might be worth talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess the idea of the bridge in action is isn't how they were framing it because they were coming in and they're dealing with some betrayal stuff and so we've done the assessment and they're coming in, ready to do this session and start talking about stuff. And I think, like quite a lot of clients, they maybe had this idea that I would come in and I'd have this list of topics we were going to talk to, and people have all sorts of different ideas about it. But what happened is they came in and they started talking to each other, and what was happening is they weren't listening to each other.
Hmm.
And so one of the things that tends to be different about the way that we kind of operate is that it's just that idea that primarily I want the couple talking to each other, rather than to me. And so that tends to be a bit different because, people, I mean, even if you look at the couples therapy program, that's screaming in New Zealand now, but it's, been running a long time in the States as well. They typically have psychotherapists doing it who are still running, the approach where you primarily talk to the therapist. I'm not entirely sure why they do that. I know that EFT does it, but most of the other specialist approaches working with couples have the couple talking to each other because it's so much more powerful and much more regulating. Um, but then the minute you get the couple talking to each other, we can really see the connection that's happening, which is what the connection bridge is about. And if, as this couple was talking to each other, literally within 5 to 10 seconds, their connection was starting to head downhill. So there was they were interrupting each other. They were the sort of like doing verbal ping pong, and it just didn't sound great. And so what I was doing is I was pausing them and saying, "What are you noticing now? Is the connection getting better or worse?" And they're like, "Worse." Okay, great. So then stop it. Because the definition of insanity is to keep doing something that doesn't work and a different result.
Well, I know in your view, the idea of relationship counseling is to get the couple back into each other's care, right? And your goal is to get them connecting to each other so you can step out.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to make myself redundant as soon as humanly possible.
So, Steve, that's kind of surprising to me because it would have seemed like it would make sense for the couple that you interrupting them to get them to talk nicer to each other would just be kind of counterintuitive.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, in this couple's case, they did have a sense that was, it was good. Yeah, there's these kind of patterns. Yep, we've been doing this for a long time. Um, but ultimately, we're really working at multiple levels. So what was happening in the communication was a kind of mutual disrespect, and also a lack of attention and care paid to the signals that were being sent. So, one partner was talking in a way that was quite dismissive, and then the other partner was responding to the words that were being said, but not the completely incongruent body language that went with the words. And so what happens is this couple's trying to talk about trust, and they're trying to talk about intimacy, and they're trying to talk about safety, and yet their communication is out of integrity, is unsafe, and it's not, they're not communicating clearly. So, often and people often think, oh, okay, so we're focusing on communication. We kind of are, but we're really concentrating on those deeper themes of intimacy and safety and respect, all of which build the connection, all of which make communication better. But what it does is it forms the basis for trust and safety, which is the thing that we need in order to build a good connection.